Go ahead and hit record. So we are glad to have this opportunity to talk with you about what is Leadership Redwood Coast. And we want to give you a little bit more information about who we are. Like I said, I'm Nancy Olson. I wear a couple different hats. I run the two organizations that I mentioned previously, the Greater Eureka Chamber of Commerce, as well as the Redwood Coast Chamber Foundation, which is the organization where Leadership Redwood Coast is housed. Um, in this program, I actually am a co-founder of this program with Allie Jones and then with Susan Seaman. It was originally founded under the auspices of then AEDC, now North Edge, and moved over to our foundation last year. So I ran programs like this in Southern California for a number of years. So ran Leadership LA, which was LA County, small little market area there. And then we did Leadership Southern California, which encompassed 5 counties. And then we had a statewide version of this. I love this work, and I am super excited to do this in my new home of Humboldt. I've been up here for about 6 years, almost 6 years now, and I'm here very much by choice, and feel grateful every day to be here. So Sherry, go ahead and share about yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sherry Newell. I came to Leadership Redwood Coast in its second year and have been last year worked on all of the logistics for the program, for setting up hotels, making sure we have meals. We do travel all around the county and out onto tribal lands, and so we need to have food and rest all built into the schedule, and that's what I take care of. I actually am relatively new to Humboldt County. Our daughter came to school here in 2011. My husband, Ken Hammock, totally fell in love with it up here and started spending as much time as he could. And when COVID hit in 2020, we decided to move from Berkeley to here. So I'm really excited to be a part of this program because I'm learning about my new home as well as meeting a lot of terrific people. Thanks.
Great. And then Allie Jones obviously is not here. She actually moved to Iowa recently. So she is wrapping up her involvement with Leadership Redwood Coast by helping support our recruitment process. And she'll be with us kind of through the interview process and selection of our class, and then she's done with us. Unfortunately, she's been a fantastic partner. Any of you know Allie, you know how special of a person she is. So she will be missed during the next class and beyond, unless they ever move back, in which case I will snag her back in. All right, so enough about us. So you want to know what you will experience. So you can see, some of the, like I said, these are actual pictures from folks, from experiences that people have. We will offer you classroom-based and boots on the ground leadership and professional development. So you can see people in classrooms. But we really place a massive, really, it's just our orientation that's really kind of truly classroom style, like you see here. The rest of it is out and about in, across the region. So it's Humboldt, Del Norte, and tribal lands. So it's the, kind of the true North Coast region. And we strive to be in places and meet places and talk to leaders in places that are relevant to the topics that we're addressing. So if we're talking about agriculture, we might be at Foggy Bottoms Boys Farm. Or if we're talking about education, we may be at CR, one of the schools, that kind of thing. If we're talking about cannabis, we will be at a cannabis farm. So just that kind of thing to make sure that it's not just theoretical, but you guys are, you folks, I don't know if folks are offended by you guys. So I'm trying to work that out of my lingo. But to make sure that you have, the visual experience of the things that we're talking about. We offer really a deep dive into, and it says unparalleled access to industry and community leaders. and opportunities to network them and connect with them. Folks that you might not ever have known existed, maybe folks that you always wanted to meet. So you'll have access to them. Last year, our fellows met with over, outside of just the cohort itself, met with over 80 different community leaders. So it's substantial. And because we're, it's in a group, kind of closed cohort type of a thing, we can have conversations that are more candid, and we get to know each other. We spend time together. We strive to have interactive workshops and really talk about everything that's happening locally and regionally, and all the complexities around that. We talk about uh, how government functions, various sectors, such as housing issues, climate resiliency, workforce development, infrastructure, agriculture, on and on. And so this bottom picture that you'll see is actually, we were out in Klamath on the Klamath River meeting with what's Rosie's last name? I'm not remembering her, but she's a culture holder for the Yurok people. And she talked to us about Yurok culture, history, the importance of the Klamath River, and other aspects of the Yurok tribe with us. So we do value spending time with different tribal groups and representatives kind of throughout the time. So we try to be inclusive in the programming that we offer kind of across the board.
Rosie Claiborne.
Rosie Claiborne.
Yeah.
Great. So this is what a typical day would look like. Sometimes we have just Thursday evening and then Friday. Our orientation is Thursday evening, Friday, Saturday. And then our trip to Del Norte, because we will spend a few days in Del Norte, is a Thursday evening, Friday, Saturday also. The other sessions are, like I said, Thursday evening and Friday. So just for that context. And then our final session will be kind of our session wrap, and we have a kind of a little homework assignment for everybody, and then we do graduation on our final time together. But you'll see, we get together on Thursday evenings, typically at again, a venue that's relevant to the topic that we're talking about. Have dinner, hear some speakers, have opportunity to interact with them. And then Fridays, are very full days. Starting with, breakfast at 8. And we have a variety of speakers. We go on walking tours. Last year, we did a 3-hour walking tour of Pelican Bay Prison up in Del Norte. We have, and then right after that, we went on a hike up in Grove of Titans, which are some of the biggest redwood trees on the planet. The little decompression after a really intense time at the prison. So just giving you some ideas of things that we do. And then we typically have dinner and networking with local leaders on Friday nights, or sometimes we just have a happy hour at the end of the day. Gives you opportunity. And then Saturday is kind of the same. They end at 3 or 3:30 rather than at 5:30 or 6 or 7. Our schedule for this year, and blame the folks that came before you. We used to do 5 sessions, now we do 6. And when I was in LA, we did 9. Uh, but they were similar to this. And yeah, maybe shorter days. But so we are launching in March, so March 6th to 8th. So that'll be that Thursday night, March 6th. And the March session, as it says, will be in Humboldt. It'll be Eureka, Arcata area, but it'll be a fun dinner. Last year we were at Septentrio's Barrel Room, and it was catered by Mother's Cooking. And it was just a really great time to get to know each other right off the bat. And then we go into the next couple of days for orientation of, including leadership development, looking at the kind of the bigger picture of our region rather than, because the subsequent sessions are a little bit more hyper local, but looking at the economy, looking at different trends and so forth. So for that first session. The second session will be April 3rd to 5th. Again, it's that Thursday evening, the 3rd. Um, and well, what we've done in the past is we've met we've met in the tap room of Seaquake Brewery. So there's a little theme there. And meet with different community leaders or last year we participated in the mixer for the Del Norte Chamber of Commerce and had some great food and then went out and did karaoke together. That was how we spent our first night in Del Norte. And then we'll probably go to the prison again. That's the session where we spend some time with the Yurok tribe for sure. Hopefully also either the Elk Valley tribe or the Talawadini tribe. And then May 8th and 9th, again, Thursday evening and all day Friday. It is Eastern Humboldt, and we do some stuff that's a little on the eastern part of like Eureka Arcata. So that one we'll go and we'll have a conversation about transportation. We'll go out to the airport and meet with different folks who represent different aspects of transportation systems. But then we go out, we'll probably go out again to the North Fork lumber mill, learn about land management, forestry, that kind of thing. Get a chance to tour the mill, which is if you see us in hard hats in front of big piles of logs, that's where that is at. And then we have started going out to Willow Creek last year and meeting with community leaders there and learning about that. Session 4 is Southern Humboldt, and we used to do Southern Humboldt in the second session, and then people complained and they said we don't even get to see any cannabis plants while we're there, even if we go to the cannabis farms. So we moved it out. I don't know if that's your thing, but it's part of our culture, right? But we have had some really fantastic conversations with leaders in Southern Humboldt, like Yvonne, who's from the chamber there. Um, and gaining an insight of of a variety of things that are happening down in that part of our region. And then the fifth session, we call it Coastal Humboldt. So it's generally kind of Ferndale up to maybe Arcata, McKinleyville, depending on the topics and where we're going to be. So that's the session that we sometimes talk about, that we typically talk about some of the more broad issues or kind of systems within our community, like education, healthcare. We'll talk about offshore wind and emerging industries. Last year, we spent a good amount of time talking about housing and homelessness. So that's session 5, and then section 6 is kind of a fun day where all of our fellows get the opportunity to report out. And Amanda, you were part of our Women in Leadership program. You know that we did what we called our personal integration plans. That was personal integration plan light relative to what we do for Leadership Redwood Coast. It's like a 5 or 7 minute presentation on what you learned and what you want to take forward with you. So we do that. We used to break people into 2 groups, and people felt dissatisfied that they didn't get to see everybody's personal integration plan presentation. So we are just planning a whole day for people to do that. And then we have a nice graduation and a closing cocktail party. So that's the schedule. So here's some quotes, and I won't read all of them, but I'll give you a quick, just a couple of quick snippets. This particular photo we were doing a tour of the tarmac at the airport. So everybody's, looking forward. But I love this quote. You haven't seen the North Coast from these angles, and you haven't felt the pulse of our community to this depth. The investment of time and funds should be a prerequisite for leadership in our community. Um, Seeing community members making businesses from what they love off the land they live on. Um, Being in a room with folks who are eager to learn more. Um, yeah, just some really great ones. And then the last one, this is the most worthwhile class I've taken as long as I can remember. That, that does my soul good to hear that it was valuable to people. So you might be asking, am I the right person to be part of this? You're here and hearing what all of you do. Yes, you are a great candidate for this program. So for folks who want to engage in career defining leadership development, it really is truly an immersive experience. Building relationships with, we should change this number, building relationships with 25 to 30 um, of your cohort members, but then another 70 to 80 community leaders. So that should actually be closer to 100 or 100 plus different folks that you'll have contact with. You'll gain if people want to gain an understanding of our region's systemic challenges and emerging opportunities, one of the things that you'll find is that it's surprising, it's kind of shocking how interwoven all of these pieces are. And sometimes we just think in our silos. So looking at things from a broader systems perspective is really helpful. Um, we want to have give you the opportunity to meet again with local leaders and hear from them about how they're addressing some of the things in their community, some of the issues that they're working on. So you really, that we spend, I would say, maybe 25% on quote unquote leadership development in a traditional sense. And the rest of the time we spend doing leadership education from leaders who are walking the talk. So it's much more practical and hopefully you would find that, find lots of lessons from the leaders that you would hear from. And then we just want to make sure that you have the skills and knowledge that you need to drive meaningful change in all aspects of, the world in which you show up. So application details, and then we'll go to Q&A. You can apply online at eurekachamber.com and then just /leadership Redwood Coast, leadership Redwood Coast. Um, or you can go to Redwood Coast Chamber Foundation and in the drop down, you'll find Leadership Redwood Coast. How we select our folks, the application process is, it's a serious application process. We want to know who's applying. And of course, the deadline is January 17th. So we do a 30-minute panel interview via Zoom. We have done them in person, but COVID taught us that Zoom is a good thing as well. And also because Allie's involved, from Iowa. That's another reason we're doing Zoom. And then you'll get a notice of acceptance by Friday, February 7th. So that's about a month, 4 weeks technically before the classes start. Tuition is $2,950. That includes all of your, the classes. We feed you well, we will say. If you are from an area outside of the service area, for example, when we go to Del Norte, most people that participate in this program don't live in Del Norte. So we pay for hotels, or people from Del Norte coming into Eureka, for example, we pay for their hotels, and that's all included in that. The only additional expense you'd have is your transportation. It can be paid by you as an individual or by your employer. We have some limited tuition assistance for full, not always full scholarships, but sometimes partial scholarships. It just depends on how much of a tuition assistance fund we have available any given year. And then if you are interested in applying for tuition assistance, you can go ahead and indicate your need on the application. Give us just a little bit of a reason why, a little justification why having some tuition assistance would be helpful for you. And that's all kept confidential. So.